Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a quick tutorial for you on this look, and it is duplicating the look that I was wearing in the help for your hair. So it was 10 styling and coloring tips when you can't get to the salon. So if you've not seen that video, I'll link it down below. But several of you really wanted to see a tutorial on the look I was wearing in that. And I know it's dark and dramatic, but it's just something kind of fun. I'm using one of my new favorite palettes. This is by Sydney Grace. It's the Enduring Love palette. As always, I will link all of the products used down in the description box below this video. If you are new here, special welcome to you. I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, and now let's get into the tutorial. So I already applied my CoverGirl Lid Lockup Primer, and our palette today doesn't really have a matte cream shade like I typically like to use along the brow bone. So I'm going to use one of the Sydney Grace individual shadows. This is the shade Drift, and I'm going to use my Sigma E50, and I'm just going to put a light bit of that. It's a little light for me. I have a little sunless tanner on, so a little darker shade of foundation as well. So I'm just going to go in real lightly with this just to add a little bit of highlight here. And now going into the palette, I'm going to take my E50 and I'm going to use a combination. I'm going to go into Cherish right here and then just a touch into Robert. Tap off, and I'm really going to very, very lightly bring this through the crease. And then I'm going to wipe off that brush and I'm going to go in with just a little bit of the shade Juliet and just bring this through. This is going to bring just a tiny little bit of kind of a peachy tint there. Now I'm going to go in with our lid color next. Kind of a little strange order, I know, but I think this will help us not go too dark and dramatic with everything else. So I'm going to start here with Deanna, and I'm going to just use my finger to apply this, and I'm going to apply it kind of to the middle 2/3 of the lid. I'm not taking it all the way to the corner on either side, but I am making sure to bring it right up to the crease, staying just below. We're gonna do some blending in just a minute. Just kind of wanna map out our shape there. So that's where we're gonna start. Now on the outer corner, I'm gonna take this smaller flat brush from Sigma. It's called the Firm Shader. It's the E57. I'm gonna go in with this dark charcoal brown called Boaz, and gonna tap off. And now I'm going to just place this right in this outermost corner. I'm not gonna take this too much over. It's gonna overlap just slightly that olive shade, but not much. We just want a tiny little bit of more depth here in the outer corner, and I don't like to take a shimmery shade here in the outer corner because that's where most of our creases and wrinkles are. So that's where I feel like a matte shade in this outermost part and through most of the crease is just a little more flattering. So I'm just patting and tapping that in place. And I am going kind of right to the corner of my eye. You can even tap the brush on its tip and just give yourself kind of a guideline there, going out from the corner and then up. And then you can just kind of gently move this into the crease and flicking it up slightly. And then I'm going to bring this over just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to go down to a smaller blending brush. This is the M506. And now I'm going to take more of just Robert by itself first. And I'm going to go right above that gray shade and start to just work this into the crease and blending just the top edge of that olive shade. The first time I did this look, I did not do these shadows in this order, and I discovered that because these shades are so pigmented and they do come off a little bit darker than what you see in the pan, you can kind of quickly get a look a little bit more muddy. So that's why we're kind of just really going with smaller brushes, going in with a real light touch, and then you can more easily blend everything together. Okay, and then just on the very tip of the brush, I'm going to put a little bit of Deanna, tap it off really well, and just blend this through the top here of the lid into the crease there. Don't worry, we're going to address this inner part. Okay, going to the M433. I don't have any shadow on my brush yet, so just kind of using this to blend that inner part. And I think we're doing pretty well. If you need to blend the outer edge, I'm going to go back to the M504 in a little bit more of Juliet, and just going to lightly blend this here right on the outer corner, and you can see it just gives a hint of some peach. And we're going to use kind of a peachy, neutral peachy blush. So that is why I'm going to bring in a little bit of this color with the olive. And I love peach and olive cut together. I think they're just so pretty. So there we go. Okay, now what I did over here is I'm going in with the Devotion shade, and I'm using this just on my finger, and I'm going to apply this from the inner corner, and I'm going to overlap that olive shade. And where the two of those overlap, it creates a really pretty kind of gold, a little more golden olive color. And then go back with just a little bit more of Deanna and tap over that, and it's just gonna, you just kind of want to play with it until you get the combination how you want it to be. But that Devotion shade just brings a little bit more of kind of a gold. By itself it has kind of some pink tones in it. I think it's so pretty, but I love the two of these shades, the two combined. I think it's really pretty. To finish out the upper lash line, I'm going to use some liquid liner. I'm using the It Cosmetics Superhero liner. Just shake it first. And I am just doing a super thin line here at the front. And just kind of laying the brush on the top of the roots of the lashes. And then I'm going to pull it out just slightly. We're not going to have a real dramatic wing, and since we have that shadow there, it's already giving us kind of our guideline. So I'm just going to follow that. Connect that outer edge back with your line and thicken it as you need to. And there you go. For the lower lash line, I'm going to use a little bit of Urban Decay Demolition. I'm just using brown because I feel like sometimes it's just a little less harsh than black. And I'm going to take that about halfway across the lower lash line, blend it out with my finger, and then we'll add just a little bit of some shadow on top of it to set it in place. So I'm going to use my M432 from Morphe, and first I'm going to go in with a little bit of Boaz and just tuck this right under the lashes and go right into the roots there. And that just connects your outer edge. Then wipe off that brush. We're going to go over the top of it with a little bit of Deanna. And I'm just kind of stamping this right below. And you all know I wear contacts, so I prefer when using shadow down here just to press it over a liner. That way it doesn't fly up into my eyes. And then wipe off that brush one more time, and we're going to go in now with the shade Robert. We're going to use this right here on the front part just to diffuse that line and then use your finger to blend it. All right, now I'm gonna clean up under the eyes, apply mascara, and I'll be back and we'll finish up the rest of the face. So for mascara today, I used the Milani Violet Lash Primer with the Milani Highly Rated Mascara. And now what we're gonna do is just add a little bit of warmth to the crease. I already did it on this eye, so I'm gonna take my M433 and just do a touch of Robert and Darcy. Tap those off, even tap it off on my Kleenex here, and just go in right here and add a tiny little bit of warmth. Now for the inner corner, we're gonna go in with this shimmer shade. Actually, it's more of like a pearly sheen, and we're gonna just tap this right on the inner corner. And then you can overlap that kind of rose gold shade we have there. And then I'll go back with my E30 from Sigma and a little bit more of Devotion. So that other shade was Romeo. Now we'll take Devotion and just use this to kind of blend those two shades together. And then I like to go back one final time with the olive shade and just tap that right on the center, just kind of making sure that color is really vibrant. Now for the face, I applied my Bare Minerals bronzer in the shade Warmth. And for blush, where did I put it? I'm gonna use, this is a very neutral color. This is called Seduce from Tarte. I'm gonna take my Morphe E4 and just apply this to the cheeks. For highlighter, I'm going to use this one from Fenty Beauty. This is the combination of Mean Money and Hustle Baby. I'm going to use this side right here on my 140 fan brush from MAC. And this is a really nice highlight. It's very smooth. And then the one on the other side does have a little bit of some glitter particles. I'll put a little bit of that on. I just like to dust that at the highest point right there. And then while I have that bronzer out, I'm going to take the M504, just run a little bit of this through the crease. This can help just tie your whole look together. Around the edge of the lips, I'm going to use this e.l.f. Putty Primer. If you have the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, that will work too. So the lip combo I wore in that video is a couple of really nude lipsticks. So you could probably improvise this and just use one color, but I wanted to do exactly what I did in that video. So I started off with the Your Lips But Better in Buff Nude from IT Cosmetics. Next, I went in with two different shades. These are limited edition shades and limited edition packaging. Can we just say it's so beautiful? These are MAC lipsticks. So the first one I used is called the Naturalist. And you can see it's just a real nice, kind of almost mid-tone nude. It's about the same color as that lip liner. And then in the center, I used this one. This was from the Mariah Carey collection, and this just makes me happy every time I use it. There's even this imprinted butterfly. It's the shade Dahhlinggg. So I'm going to use this now in the center, just to bring a little bit of, kind of a little bit of light pink peach to the center. Make the lips look a little fuller. And then what I always tend to do when I do a real nude lip is to add a touch of gloss. So I use the Bare Minerals Moxie Gloss in 24 karat. See, it has just gold shimmer, and these are wonderful. They're not gritty at all, but they just give a really nice bit of shine, and they have a very cooling feel on the lips. They're not painful plumpers or anything, but they do just kind of help your lips look a little bit fuller, I think. And here's our finished look. So I know this is deep and dark and dramatic, but I just think it's fun to do looks like this every now and then, and I have really enjoyed wearing olive green shadow over about the last year. It's just kind of been a color that I've really been drawn to, and I do love the shades in this palette. If you've not already seen the tutorial I did using the blue shade in here, I will link that in the description box below, but this has just been fun. There are neutrals in here, of course, but right now I think it's just fun to play with some colors. So I hope that you really enjoyed this. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.